get started with virtual parties?
Well, my first virtual party was quite by accident. It was with 5 hours notice.
Wow.
I live in northern Maine, and we were in the middle of a winter blizzard. I had done some Facebook catalog shows, so I used that collection and just did pictures and posts of the event online. Everyone had such a good time, so I decided to do some more like that. And I found that my average virtual party is right around 400, although I have done fundraisers at about 2,300. And the virtual parties are a great supplement to my cooking shows.
You know, Tammy, you are like the mailman. Through rain, through sleet, through snow. You know, it's really great that weather is no longer a reason to cancel a show. So, you know, Desiree, you've been doing catalog shows for a number of years now. So what prompted you to start the Facebook shows now?
So I kind of thought it would be cool if we could get everyone together online at the exact same time. The guests had so much fun, and it went by so fast. After my first virtual party, a lot of the guests wanted to host their own. So it's an interesting way that we've had some really tech-savvy hosts and some not-so-tech-savy hosts. They don't even know what a Facebook event is. We just make it work. The best thing is that my virtual parties have virtually no cancellations, and I've also added some team members to my team.
When I did my first virtual party, I was freaking out, very nervous, very scared. But I soon discovered that people loved being able to join the party in their pajamas, relax with a glass of wine, favorite drinks. And the show's actually really easy for a consultant to do. So they just really need to follow along with the outline, copy and paste the information, and that's it.
You know, Carrie, you're a virtual newcomer to virtual parties, right?
Yes, and I quite honestly tried it because I was desperate. My May bookies were falling apart, and I had heard about the virtual parties, but I'm not that big on Facebook, so I joined a friend's party to observe and to experience what it was like, and then I got some more information on it. I kind of jumped right in. And so my first virtual party was $750.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
My third one was $300, but get this, my second one was $300, but my third one was almost $1,200.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was so stoked up. But can I tell you the best part? It was something that my host sent me as a thank you, and this is what she said. Here's something that I love about that party. I had friends participate from all walks of my life, from all over the country. From college, to early years of my job, to later years of my job, to hometown friends. We were all there together at the same time, for the same reason. We just loved it. And not only did I meet my business goal for May, but I gave my hosts a really wonderful experience there.
Oh, that's great. Oh, thanks, Carrie. You know what's really great about that? It's really super to hear that virtual parties helped you hit your business goal, but then they also helped you to reconnect with friends. So let's talk about how we get started with virtual parties. Brandis, who are your potential hosts?
I was really shocked to find out that really there's no specific demographic for a virtual party. I've had young, unmarried 20-somethings host them. I've had grandmas host them, stay-at-home moms, working moms, as well as singles, college students. So really, you know, I like to think about those whose life are really busy and maybe they can't do a cooking show for whatever reason. The moms with the busy schedules, taking the kids back and forth. So, and also don't forget that, you know, your customers and friends that you have who have mostly out-of-town friends, they're perfect candidates for a virtual party. Really anybody who has a Facebook account, which is all of us probably, can do a virtual party. And one more thing is that, you know, I've had a lot of success doing them around, in the evening, around 8, 9 o'clock at night. This is after the customers have put their kids to bed, have taken care of the things they need to do that day. And it's just kind of a nice way to end their night and have some fun before bed.
I love it. I love it. So what about host coaching? Carrie, is it different for virtual parties?
Well, it's really like a lot like the cooking show, where the host coaching is so important because the more you invite, the better. And the more the host personally invites, instead of just posting a general invitation, that's even better. A virtual party is the perfect opportunity to invite both long-distance friends and close local friends. You also want to keep your hosts engaged throughout, so she has a successful party. I specifically asked her to share her excitement with her friends on the event before the party, like on pre-posts. I coach her throughout the live event as well. The guests will follow her lead. If she's having a good time, they will too.
Everybody has a good time. That's great. That's great, Carrie. Thank you. Okay, ladies, we've booked the party. We've booked the event. We've invited the guests. So what happens next?
So I have a series of posts that I actually add to the event before the show ever starts. And it kind of just explains what's going to happen, that they can earn tickets for different things that they do, ordering, and they count the drawings that I'm going to do during the live show. The show link is always visible on the event page, so I encourage them to place their orders ahead of time just in case they can't come during the live event. And they're still entered into the drawing because we don't want them to miss out.
So it sounds to me like it's important to guide the party guests before the actual party so that they're comfortable with the process.
Definitely.
Okay, so it is party time. So I'm sure everybody here today is wondering how often you party and how you post along the way.
Well, I usually do about 10 to 12 posts, and I base them on the time in between the interaction from the guests that I'm getting. I remain pretty flexible, and when we get a good conversation going about a particular product, I just continue to on that line before I move on to the next post. I do get most of my bookings from the comments section and the interaction that I'm having with my guests, and I really like the fun and then the speed of that interaction. So usually my parties are around 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, wow.
And so I do approximately 15 to 20, and showcasing about 10 products, and the other posts are games or bookings or recruiting messages sprinkled with throughout, about 1 to 4 minutes in between. My parties are no longer than an hour, and I keep a quick pace. That way the guests stay interested and remain on the event.
That's great.
Yeah, my parties are really fast-paced too, which makes it very exciting. And don't forget that Facebook changes the order of the posts as guests comment. So it's really important to number your posts as you're doing them, and also tell your guests in the party to refresh so that the most recent one goes to the top.
So what's the process for putting up the posts?
Well, I store all my posts in a mock Facebook event, and I title it July Virtual Party 1, July Virtual Party 2. And I create a couple different templates so that when somebody books from a virtual party, they're going to invite mostly the same people that were at the last one. So I want those people to have a different experience at the next party. And when I'm creating these templates, I keep the posts in the same order that I would use for the party. And so the first and second posts are like the pre-party post in the template, explaining how everything's going to work. And then the first live post would be something like, welcome, it's party time.
You know, you can even post videos, such as a short 30-second video about the Cool and Serve tray, and then make some comments about all the benefits of that. And then as a comment on the thread, you could start posting some pictures of the Cool and Serve with a recipe or two.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Tammy. I like to add related pictures and videos on the same thread. It shows that I like to see the product, show them in action for them. It just helps the guests stay with you on that post and not get lost.
So what about posting, storing the party posts? How do you keep it all straight and not really get confused? Because that can be confusing.
So with a lot of encouragement, I jumped on the Evernote bandwagon, and it's working really well. Thank you for your help. It's working really well, and I create a script for a monthly script, and that's where I store my posts in order, and then I copy and paste, or sometimes if it allows me, I drag and drop them right into the Facebook event. And then the night of the party, I have 2 tabs. So on the left-hand side, I have my Evernote, and on the right-hand side, I have my Facebook event, and so that way I'm just dragging and dropping the post over. And sometimes I even have my phone because I need to manage the comments at the bottom too. So it's like, we're making it happen. I love it.
Well, you know, one of the workshops that we offered this conference was on how to use Evernote in your business. So if you didn't have a chance to take it, you want to be on the lookout for it to post on Consultants Corner in a few weeks. So, and they also have a fabulous section on the website.
A virtual
So,
stuff.
Carrie, what about you?
Well, I did my first party the cut and paste way that the others do, but I had a major headache when it was over. It was kind of stressful for me. So, and I found it hard to follow up on the comments. to keep up and concentrate, because I was concentrating so hard on getting the next post in order.
Right.
But then I heard about a service that allows me to prearrange my posts and the timing in between times of the posts, and so I decided to give that a try, and it frees me up to be able to read and the comments and, you know, answer the comments on that thread.
Well, you know, there's actually a couple out there. I know that Carrie uses Tiny Torch. Desiree, I know you use SynShare. So we're going to post these, the service providers for everybody here today on Consultants Corner, so no worries. But it's really great, ladies, to hear that you all do things a little differently. Because just like our cooking show reflects our personalities and style, your virtual party can too.
Absolutely.
So we all know that guest interaction is so important to the show style. So no matter what show style you do, so how do you all encourage guest interaction?
Lisa, have you ever gone to a party where nobody talks to each other?
Yes, yes I have.
So boring, right? So for a virtual party to be fun, you really need to have the people participating in the party by commenting on your posts, playing the games, interacting with each other. So if things are getting a little bit too quiet in the party, I have a post that lets everyone know that their comments are encouraged and even rewarded with tickets into my drawing. It's my Make Some Noise post. So I put that up there and it gets people going.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, so I work with my host in advance, and I ask her to tag some of her friends in some of the comments. For example, she may say something like, "Oh, Jen, wouldn't the girls just love one of those wine shows?" Or, "Hey, Susie, where's that rock we were talking about earlier?" And this draws them out. I use posts that are going to draw them into the show, get them involved, such as, "What's everyone drinking tonight?" And just like Brandis, I reward the interaction with tickets for my drawings. I keep track of the comments on my posts. I ask questions, book parties, or invite friends to join the fun. Then I either draw their name from a piece of paper or I use random.org. Random.org works by picking a number, so all you have to do is enter the range that you want to choose from. And I assign these numbers to my guest list, and random.org does the rest of the work. The site chooses the number, and the guest associated with the number wins.
Thank you. We know throughout our conversation, ladies, the audience is actually seeing some sample posts. So Desiree, can you explain where the graphics and videos are found?
Yeah, so Pampered Chef has a really lot of great product posts on both their community Facebook page and their Pinterest pages. And you can also go to the Pampered Chef YouTube channel and get all kinds of video links, so you're actually showing videos during your shows as well. I like to record a personal video for my customers and my guests to welcome them, and of course you can find the guest and host flyers right there in Consultants Corner.
Thanks, Desiree. You know, because this style of party is growing so much in popularity, I know if you all Google virtual party, you're going to find a lot of fabulous resources available out there. So I encourage everybody here today just to do some research. Learn how to best conduct a virtual party, and then just follow the best practices that everybody shares out there. And then watch for a new page on Consultants Corner with more tips and recipes. So ladies, I think that we can all agree there are three important things that you want to do at every party. We want to sell product, we want to book future shows, and we want to generate recruitment. So Tammy, how do you encourage sales at your virtual parties?
Well, the show page link that I've created is posted before, during, and after the party, and this generates the bulk of the orders. I give the host the option to pass catalogs around as well, so orders can be gathered that way too. And I always, during my parties, feature my power tools and the benefits of having them in their kitchen. I also encourage a lot of testimonials from my guests during the event.
Carrie, what about you? How do you encourage bookings at your virtual parties?
Well, I make sure I promote the host special on my pre-party posts, and I emphasize how much fun and how easy it is to host a party. And once the host gets on there and she realizes how fun and easy, it's really easy to help her. You know, I talk about that feature party pick, she's right in.
Oh, yes, awesome. So Desiree, let's talk about you. So how do you generate recruit leads when you're at a virtual party?
Yeah, so one of the things I think is important is my welcome post says pay close attention to what I'm doing tonight and see how easy it is to party on Facebook for an hour and earn extra income. I also use the What's Apron Fits You slide. I think you can see it, and it encourages guests to comment on a post by telling them what type of consultant or apron would fit them. And I, of course, say that now is a great time to join our company because it doesn't matter what month it is. And I'm excited to say that since starting this type of show, I've had 4 consultants qualify in less than 14 days.
Oh my gosh, that is great! That's awesome!
Yeah, they love the convenience that it brings to their family schedules, and it's while helping out with the income part too.
Oh, that's awesome. We love to hear that. Brandis, you've always been a top recruiter. So how do you generate interest in our business?
Well, I have my personal story written up as one of my posts to use on the party, and I talk about the different ways somebody can become a Pampered Chef consultant, including by doing virtual parties as an option. And what's been really cool is the interest that it generates through my parties. I have a new consultant who signed up a couple months ago, right in the middle of the virtual party. She actually stopped and said, "What's your consultant number? I'm signing up right now." I was like, "Awesome." And she's actually here at conference. Hi, Stephanie. So Stephanie started she's only done virtual parties since she started. And she has now become a fast track director. All right.
Oh my gosh, congratulations, Stephanie, wherever you are out there. Thank you, ladies. Okay, so our party's over. What happens next, Tammy?
Well, we're going to try to close the party within a couple of days. So I do a final post on the closing day to remind the guests that this is their last chance to order for the hostess to get credit. And I also encourage the host to private message each of those guests that have RSVP'd yes, but they weren't able to attend. Kind of like a kitchen show. And I tell them when the show's going to close, and then I continue doing the host coaching and generating outside orders. These are important steps for a successful party, just the same as if you're doing the cooking show.
Yeah, that makes sense. So ladies, I want to thank you all for sharing your tips and your expertise. But I know before we all go, everybody out here today would love to hear a benefit that each of you have found in adding virtual parties to your businesses. So we'll start with Carrie.
Well, my husband and I each have our own motorbike. And I never felt like I could really go on an extended trip with him because I needed to be home doing my cooking parties. So I found like with this, take my laptop, go on the road, tap into the Wi-Fi for an hour at the hotel. We're making money and getting that free party to our hosts.
We all know that some people we meet would never ever do a cooking show for whatever reason. Maybe they're deathly afraid of speaking in front of people. Maybe they don't have a babysitter or car or whatever. So virtual parties really can provide them an option to do the Pampered Chef business on their own terms, at home, where they're comfortable. And my fast track director, Stephanie, she has also promoted a fast track director under her. Yes, and she has only done virtual parties as well. So I'm just really excited about this new option that we can offer people because it's really appealing to people.
And so virtual parties for my family couldn't have come at a better time. We all know that there are different seasons in our lives, and direct sales allows us to focus on that season for the priority of that season. And right now, my priority is family. Our son has a disease that we experience a lot, and so we're in and out of the hospital. And so it just allows me to continue to keep my business thriving. The hour goes by really fast, and I have a lot of fun doing them. And plus, I get a little bit of an adrenaline rush from them. It kind of makes my ADD really happy.
Most people know that I love doing the cooking show and I keep my calendar pretty full with those, but I do see virtual parties as a supplement to my calendar when needed. After moving across the country a couple of times, the virtual party is also a great way for me to do business with my long-distance friends and family, as well as the local people, and stay home with my family when I'd like to.
So thank you. Virtual parties can definitely be another stream of income in your business. So, are you all, everybody here, excited to try a virtual party on your own? Okay, so the good news is that you can. So later in July, watch for a virtual party training page on Consultants Corner. It will be found under Training and Resources, Cooking Show Training. You'll find helpful online posts and sample posts and links to some really helpful online resources. Then, in mid-August, a video of this panel will be available on that same page. So, be watching PC Fresh News for the announcements. And, one last thing, these ladies would like to invite everyone here today to join their virtual party Facebook page. So, simply search for Pampered Chef Virtual Party Success for their page. So I would love to thank Tammy, Carrie, Desiree, and Brandis for really your time and your talent and sharing your insight into virtual parties. So let's all give them a round of applause.